Welcome back to the Rookie and the Vet. This episode of the Rookie and the Vet is brought to you by Vibe Culture. Contains the right herbs, electrolytes, and antioxidants. Everything you need to get you from the hangover and out of the bed and getting after a kiddies run club. Like, you know what? And before we run this ad last week, I hadn't tried the supplement as of yet, but everyone knows that I treated myself on the weekend. I said that in a little video. I did an absolute number myself in Double Bay on the weekend, and then I had it in the afternoon when I was finally come good. And it's
what's the turnaround? You bounced back after what, 5 or 10?
Yeah, mate, it was pretty quick. So shout out to the boys at Vibe Culture. They brought me back. I was in a bad way. I even got after it the next day too. Went to Reborn Athletic, and generally Travi can attest to this, who's a friend of YKTR. He knows when I'm getting after on the Friday or Saturday night that he's probably not going to see me on Monday. So, mate,
Vibe Culture got you there, man.
The Vibe Culture got me there, baby. So grateful to Vibe Culture.
But I had my first run of since I touched down in this country this morning, so I might have to have some myself, mate.
Yeah, go treat yourself. Billy, who's the owner of Vibe Culture, he wanted it to be in here. I left it at home, so I just went for another run too. Of just not a run, sorry. I just did a little. I think it was about 13 or 14K around Centennial Park. Had a little bike.
Nice.
Big ride, yeah. Nice to do that. I might, that's going to be my gratefuls too, so we'll get to that. But before we get to my gratefuls, what's your gratefuls, brother?
Gratefuls, well, we're now 2 weeks in. So I'm going to be grateful to Lukey here because he's the unsung hero of this office, as you know.
Yep.
And I came in with the laptop of doom, struggling away to kind of get my head around the workflow here. And he hasn't snapped at me yet, even though I ask him a question every 36 seconds. So I'm grateful for Lukey for helping me out my first couple of weeks here in the new job, mate.
It's a good grateful, but to be fair, this is kiddies you turn up because like you actually know half what you're doing. He's had to deal with me and Simmy for about 18 months. So having you just turn up and ask him a few questions about the laptop, I'm sure Lukey's grateful for that.
Yeah, I'm very grateful, bro.
My grateful is, and this is going to surprise you boys, I'm grateful for my work ethic. Yeah,
all right. Flex on yourself.
Yeah, big time flex. I'm really feeling myself at the moment. So,
good boy.
Like I said, I did a little bike ride today. And while, I always come up with all my best stuff while I'm over there, you know what I thought while I was doing the bike ride? Fuck this. I need a goal. I need something to keep me going. That's sort of how I've always been. So I set myself in my head that I'm going to go to Queenstown in Boxing Day. And I'm going to go and I'm going to do not the kiddies triathlon. Fuck it, I'm going to do the big dog triathlon over there.
Man.
Yeah, I've been meaning to go to Queensland for a while. I think, we've talked about in the card gang doing a golf trip over there. So if I can organise with the boys, we've got the ABs that follow us, TJ and Nug. So
fuck, man, good on you.
Yeah, I just set it in my head. But you know what? And now I put it out there.
Put it out.
Everyone knows. Because the one thing I was filthy about that just went past was the Husky try that we were supposed to do. And because of the COVID numbers, I didn't want to book it too early, waste money on the ticket and whatnot. So I missed out on it. And I said that was going to be a yearly thing that I do.
Yeah.
But with about 5 or 6 weeks to go, I went to go book tickets and there were limited numbers because of tickets. So it's been a little itch. There's been something there in my life. And, like a few little things that happened where I've gone, am I being grateful enough? And yes, I am being grateful enough. Everyone knows that. I give out the gratefuls of doom.
All right, Matty. Yeah, all right.
I give out the gratefuls of doom, but I need a goal. I need something to start
that's
pushing
cool, man. I
towards
like it.
And that's going to be my goal for the end of the year.
Good on you. Well, it's recorded now, mate. It's on record.
It's on there. So we've recorded it. And on that note, hit the intro, please, Lukey.
Tell me what you need and need us. Tell me what you want and want us. Tell me what you call us. Yeah.
This is where I do my best work, baby. Shit. And our teams didn't do their best work on the weekend.
No,
Jacko.
Speaking of shit.
Yeah, so what we're going to do with this little bit now, we're going to review. I'll pick a game that I think was the best game out of the ones that I watch, and then we'll review our two teams. Potentially, Lukey can talk a little bit about Parramatta. Simmy can talk about the Bulldogs if the boss is around the Knights. But you're a Warriors man.
Yeah, it was. We said I actually picked the Knights, so in that sense, I'm happy. But it was a coin flip game, and it came down to Bradman Best doing Bradman Best shit. So it was a good game. I thought the boys did enough to win. I think it was Pompey or someone crossed. Mamalo crossed with about 8 to go. I thought that'd be enough to get home. And then Bradman Best just like that. I think that was the difference between the two sides. They were fucking evenly matched. Both packs kind of went set for set. And it just came down to a bit of individual brilliance. And the Warriors are kind of like without you and Aitken there, the Warriors kind of lack that real strike center, and the Knights had one. And I think that was the only difference. They were pretty evenly matched. It was a quiet game from Rog. I don't think he'll be that quiet again in the next couple of weeks. So, bit disappointing, but the Knights are 2-0 without KP, so don't fucking look now, man. But they're looking good.
Yeah, then like you said, touch on there, the KP factor and the Blake Green factor, I think are going to be big in a couple of weeks when they come back. They're looking really nice. I've gone 0-2 on the Knights game, so I need to be better there. I actually thought it was going to be the opposite I was a big fan of Bradman Best, but I put a little same game multi on for myself on the weekend. I thought I had my son Pet, and it could be biased again, but I thought, a little bit of Silk. He had Bradman Best. They had Heimel Hunt, who's, started his career in the centres.
Yeah.
He's more of a centre, and they had the young kid, Phoenix Crossland, coming in for his first start of his career. So I thought Pet was going to be able to do some fucking get some jam on that edge. It ended up coming on the other edge for the Warriors.
A lot of that's Cody. Like Cody likes to run his shape left.
Yeah.
So and with Chanel kind of still, obviously he's out now, but getting into his work, he's kind of hasn't taken that demand the ball and go right now, even though he's got fucking strike there. So
yeah. And he looks like at this stage of his career, he's more of a ball runner. I've seen a couple of times, maybe the conditions as well was a bit wet. I think Pet led for Tahu Scope, and Tahu Scope just has to tip it on there.
Yeah.
And Fussy Tool would have gone over pretty early, and then I was looking all right. But congrats to that left edge. Congrats to Newcastle. Another great win.
What about your Bird gang, man?
My Bird gang.
What's going on, Scope?
Look, it was a better effort, obviously, compared to what they produced against the Roosters. I'm going to be pretty critical of the boys. They know if the Bird gang are going well, I'm going to gas them the fuck up.
Yeah.
But if there are some things, I think they just look a little bit lost in terms of what not only the player that Tommy is, but also the shape that they run when he's there. It looks like it's completely different to what they used to run. And I know they like to focus on getting around the ruck, and then Tommy has that ability to break a game open up from the 40 or 50 metre line, whereas in the past they've been able to score tries like that, and then they're not too worried about good ball. But now we're more reliant on coming up with sort of more set plays or putting a little bit more polish. And a couple of my good mates, Foz and Ches, that's their job.
Yeah.
They need to get the job done around those areas. I know that, just knowing them personally, I know how hard they're going to be working to rectify it. And imagine Desi, wouldn't be that happy. But a better performance, but they need to be better.
Yeah, I thought the same thing. I thought the Rabbitohs looked fucking silky. But I don't really know. It's interesting what you say about their shape when Tommy's there versus he's not there, because Manly have been blessed by basically went almost immediately from the Brett Stewart era straight into the, with a little bit of a lull period there, straight into the Tommy Turbo era.
Yep.
And they play that same that they're killers through the middle, kind of like Gutho and Teddy a little bit, but they're just killers through the middle. And like you said, they can score from anywhere when he's there. And when he's not there, it looks like there's still, you've had a whole preseason to try and figure out what you do, but Dylan Walker still looks like he's trying to find his feet in that role. He's obviously a fucking gifted player. He can run the ball.
I love Dill, but it's only 2 weeks in.
It's 2 weeks in. So, it was a good game. I enjoyed watching it, but it'll be interesting to see what they do on Friday night against Mudders and the boys, which I'm sure we'll roll into.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah, we'll get into that game, and that's going to be a part of my multi of doom, that one. So there's a little bit early mail, but it's probably not what you think.
The multi of Doom's mate. We got coin flips of Doom this week, so I'm going to be very interested to see.
That's why I've had to mix it up a little bit. I'm not stuck in my ways. If something's not working, I'm not one of those guys that'll just keep fucking beating away at. Is there a saying for that? I know there's a saying for something. Flogging a dead horse. I'm not one of those guys. So I've come up with a new little tactic, and that tactic has worked well for me in the Thursday night multis.
Oh yes, I've been following along, mate. You've paid my rent the last couple of weeks. That's good.
Yeah, so I'll be taking that in the multi-year dooms. The other game, obviously the big game, we did it. Actually, we didn't do it on the Footy Companion. We had the weekend off, but it was Lukey's team, Parramatta. Do you pick the margin as well, Lukey?
Yeah, I said Para by 4.
Mate, you must be. This is a part where we can bring you in. Obviously, you must be stoked with how Para have started the season.
Yeah, definitely 2-0, especially when you got the Storm round 2. It's always a bit of a worry, but I'm just have to be grateful on this podcast. Super grateful that Mitchy Moses got the win against a top side like the Storm. There's all these people just bring up statistics out of nowhere when these kind of games are about Mitch, and it's he hasn't got the greatest record against top sides. So to get a game like that, put the kick over for Sivo in the corner at the end there, every Parramatta fan, that's what you want to see. You're on your home ground at Bankwest. It was wet as, but yeah, they're the games that we should be winning. if we want to compete like people say we should be competing at.
Yeah, and going to you, Jacko, on that, they're one of the teams where I need to see it more consistently still to put them, even though they beat the Storm. For me, I still have, if I was to do the play rate, you got Roosters. Obviously, I got that wrong. They're well and clearly in the top 4. Yeah. You got the teams to beat for me are the Panthers, the Roosters, the Storm, and even though they've been scratchy, I still like the Raiders more than the Eels at the moment. Yeah. I need to see more of those sorts of performances against the big teams, and he's got his critics, Mitchy Moses, but those sort of efforts and those sort of wins against those sorts of teams will sort of, I think everyone will sort of be the same.
Yeah, I loved what I wrote straight away in the morning. I said, if Para play like that, they can win the whole comp. And play like that to them means not trying to score off every fucking play, man. Like, obviously Mitchy and Dill are such talented players, and Gutho he's got more energy than anyone else on the field. He's never blowing. But they attack from fucking everywhere, and third tackle coming out of their own end, they fucking shift. But in that wet conditions against a team like Melbourne, they just stripped it way back. They got simple. Mitchy's kicking game was fucking on point in those conditions.
They out Melbourne.
They out Melbourne. And that's what I was saying. Like, when they're playing, a team on like a Sunday on a dry paddock, and they can at Bankwest, and they can play para football, they can fucking smoke anyone because they can score 40.
Yep.
Being able, I think it kind of shows the maturity of Mitchell Moses a little bit, which we've been waiting for a little while. The ability to switch up then, and maybe it's a coaching thing as well, to switch up and go, hang on, we're not going to be able to play quote unquote para football today. We're going to have to play their game and just do it better, and they fucking did it. So I'm one of those guys. I'm a little bit, to use an NBA analogy, the whole Simmons and Embiid, do they work together? I'm a little bit like that with Moses and Brown.
I'm about that. It's almost the whole spine too.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Individually, all are fucking wicked.
Yeah,
and I'm not sure how it marries up together. But fuck, man, to beat Melbourne in those conditions, they made me eat my words. So if they stick and they can play that sort of football, man, I like them to go. I'd put them in that category that you said there, along with the top players in the competition. I reckon they're a real threat this year, Barra.
Yeah, I agree, mate. And one thing I want to touch on with that spine, I know it's obviously important how well the 7 and 6 combined together, but two guys, Gutho and Reid Marnie, to start the season, like those two guys have won. I believe they've won the game for their teams with effort plays, right? So if players keep coming up with those sorts of effort, Reedy in the first, they'll play touch footy against the Broncos in the first half, and then Reedy sort of come out in the second half, made a nice little line break. He scored a try. He hits Junior Paulo back-to-back weeks, and he just straightened up the game really nicely for him. And obviously everyone's been speaking about Gutho all week.
He's never going to cheat you on effort, is he?
Mate, like those two guys, they're not as talented as Mitchy and Dill, but they fucking work harder than anyone. Actually, anyone in the comp. Like, you know what you're going to get. They're never going to have a set below a 7 out of 10. Those two guys. You know what I mean? So if you got those two guys, and then you can have Mitchy and Dill coming in and putting their little polish on, man. That spine has the ability, and everyone's been saying it for a minute, but it has the ability to be one of the best spines in the competition.
I'm with you 100%, man.
All right, let's move on to the picks for this week. We've got the first game up. It's a fucking doozy. It's the grand final replay. Two big outs, obviously. The skipper Cleary, he's out with a head knock, and Snackenhausen is out with a neck injury. You want to kick us off here, brother?
Yeah, I think Kafusi. Scroll down to the forwards. I think Kafusi's out as well from memory. Yeah, he is. Fuck. It's I think $1.80 to $2. So Penrith are slightly favoured in this one. And I think they'll get him. I love Matt Burton, man. And I know we haven't seen a lot out of him, but there's a fucking reason that, I have on pretty good authority that the Wars, the Almighty Warriors, were chasing him big. The Dogs were chasing him big. He's played fuck all footy, but he's got it, man. And you can see now why, like, Penrith are looking smart. They had two amazing young halves, and they went above and beyond to keep another amazing young half. And everyone's going, why would you do that when you can, you can get a bit of value for him?
Yeah.
But he's an incredible player, man. And so is Nico Hines, like taking nothing away from Nico. But if you take out Cleary and Pappenhausen, I think Burton gives you a premium over Nico. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Swapping
him in and out. So fullbacks are pretty evenly matched. I'll probably give the advantage slightly there to Penrith. I wouldn't be taking the line. It's 1.5. So I'll be going Penrith in this one, man.
Yeah, and it's a luxury also having Tyrone May on the bench too, who's a really important piece for that team, man. I think he's a really underrated part that people don't really talk about. You've got a guy like Matt Burton who's playing, not getting a run because Tyrone May plays that elusive rotation role so well. He can come on and play anywhere on the field. I'm going to go to the Storm, but I'm not. It's another one of those ones. I obviously think it can go either way.
It's a pretty safe bet. If it can go either way, take the Storm.
Yeah, well, speaking of bets, this is so a lot of people have been asking for my Thursday night multi. My Thursday night multi for this week is I'm going the left edges. I was very confident of the game being overs, but it's, if there's one thing I sort of regret by putting the bet on too early was now that Cleary and Pappenhausen out, do they score as many points?
I mean, Penrith haven't conceded a try.
Yeah.
This year, mate. Not one try.
Yeah. Yeah, that's massive. So that sort of thrown me out a little bit, but I think there's going to be the amount of touches and efforts that Munster and Jerome Lau get on. Luai get on. I was calling him Lau too before, and then I seen him talking about how he pronounced his name, and it's
Luai.
Luai.
It's like Klukstar.
Yeah.
We've gone from Klokstad to Klukstar as well.
Yeah,
they're
so
throwing us this year.
yeah. Apologies for getting that wrong, boys, but I think the two Sixers are going to have a big say in this game. I think it's going to be pretty close at the end. I didn't go the under 10.5, but I think it's going to be pretty close at the end. And I think those two guys in particular are going to be asking a lot of questions and getting their hands on the ball, especially with Pappenhausen out for the Storm and who can float around and get a lot of ball through the middle. Now there comes more onus on money to get the ball in his hands because Jerome Hughes and Pappy work probably better together than what Munster and Pappenhausen do, just because Perez can play down that short side with Kenny Bromwich as well. He's a bit of a ball player, so sometimes they have Olam Leiden, which is one of my try scorers, and Brian Toho, who's my other try scorer, into overs. So we'll see how that goes. Potentially looking to go 3 in a row for Thursday night footy games.
I've jumped on with you, man. I really like that. I think Olam's always valued a score, man. He just runs so fucking hard. And obviously with money, they love to throw that shape that way. And Toto, like Stephen Crichton's been a little bit quiet this year by his standards. But Brian Toto's that fucking powerful, man. I think, if they throw anything that way, I think he's a chance. I'm not mad at the overs, to be honest, bro. I think he could be a chance. Obviously two very good defensive teams, but yeah, I'm not mad at that, bro. Not mad at that at all.
Yeah.
And then we got Mudders.
All right, on to Mudders. So this will be another game that's a part of my multi, but I'll wait till we get there. This is, I believe it's obviously the odds indicate that it's going to be another coin flip. They get a nice win. I'll start off. We'll go 1 for 1.
Yeah,
they got a nice win, and we were obviously watching that for the SBC party on the weekend. But it was a team without Jason Tomoala up at the Cowboys. It was a nice confidence builder for the Dragons, but this is what the Manly now need. They need that confidence builder. And both teams will be liking their chances in this one. So, there are a couple of teams that are down the bottom that'll be liking their chances. So it'll make for a very interesting game.
Where are you going?
I'm going Bird Gang. Okay.
Yeah, I'm I've changed my mind about 5 times.
Yeah, same here.
Benny Hunt looked fucking nice last week. That Benny Hunt is what everyone expects Ben Hunt to be. Like that's 2015 sort of Benny Hunt there. So I'm going to go the Bird Gang 2. I think the line's plus 2.5 at $1.90. So I'll take the line.
I'm actually trying to if I did pick him or not. I think I might have gone Dragons.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. You're changing your mind every day.
I went Dragons on the tips. I went Dragons on the tipping comp. I wasn't sure. I went back and forth on it a few times.
Yeah, I've gone back and forth. The line at 2.5 plus 2.5 for Manly, I think, is where you get a bit of value.
Yeah.
Because I think it'll be a 2-point game, whichever way it decides to go. I think Manly have the advantage in the pack. Neither of us are overly. I mean, the Dragons have nice pieces, but as a pack, I think they fall behind Manly a little bit there. So I'm going to go Manly. I think they're due a win, man. They have to win eventually. They have to get it right. And with the quality they have in their halves, I think they're going to get the job done here, but it'll be fucking close, man.
If they don't get the job done this week, it's going to be pretty ugly for them. And
yeah, you got. I mean, it's no disrespect to the Dragons, but when you're 0-2 and you get the Dragons in round 3 with the way they've been going lately, you got to win.
Yeah,
man.
The last couple of years. But in saying that, like I've obviously living with Normie, Dragons has done all right against Bird Gang in recent history as well. So. Yeah. Like I said, it's I've got the Dragons here. I can still change it.
And I'm going Manly.
And I might change it. Can you change it all the way up into the game?
I think you got until now before kickoff, I think.
Yeah, okay. We'll leave that for
That could change 2 more times, man.
Yep. And this is another game I nearly changed a couple of times. The big one for me, actually, I'll let you start with this. Sorry, Jacko.
Yeah, no, it's all right. I'm obviously this is the game of the round. South Roosters. The line's plus 3.5, and I actually think Souths actually get it done anyway. Like I would be leaning towards Souths head to head, plus 3.5, I reckon, is absolute fucking money. So as good as the Roosters have looked, they haven't played anyone like this yet. And I think Souths, you take away that kind of slow start in round one, they've looked good, man. And obviously you've got this lethal left edge here with Cody going up against this fucking right edge of Doom with Tupanua.
Is Reynolds in? I thought Reynolds was out.
Oh, good.
Concussion.
Oh, yeah, my understanding was he still in.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, I've got a bad mail on that one.
That changes things. Yeah, look, if Reynolds is out, obviously it swings back in favour of the Roosters. But right edge of Doom, we spoke about it. I spoke about it on Shape with Joseph Manu, Tupanua, and obviously Carey doing his fucking thing down there. And then you've got Latrell. They sweep to Alex Johnson with Cody Walker on the left. So I'll tell you what, there's going to be a fuckload of points in it. I think Souths are good enough, man. I think this is the game that they would have circled in the old calendar. Victor Radley's a massive in for the Chooks.
Here's one guy I was going to touch on for sure.
Yeah. And look, I'm very high on this Roosters forward.
Can you slide down to the bench a little bit too, Lukey? One guy I want to highlight as well who's had a really big start to the season, good end to the season, Lindsay Collins.
Yeah,
mate,
footy IQ.
Mate, really good. Like a couple of that try that he put on for
he had 2 assists,
debutant. Yeah, he had a couple of assists. Even the second one is a nice little tip onto I think it was maybe BMOS.
Manu goes up, he sweeps around the back. Yeah.
Mate, to have that, like you said, footy IQ to come around, you could see he started sweeping already because he started
moving early, yeah.
And then, mate, I know front rowers that'll fuck that 2-on-1 up, so that was a nice play. But the one before that was even more impressive, where he's running against the grind, rips it back up,
over his right
gets
shoulder.
an inside ball, runs the nice little curl route, we call it. Like when you run an X play, instead of running straight back into the players, he ran a nice little curl route, was running against the grain, brought fucking Dane Laurie in and
dumped it back over his shoulder
and hit it nicely to the
man.
rookie who went over for a try. So that was a massive. I thought he played really well for him. I'm going to go to the Roosters because I'm sick of getting the Roosters wrong, and because I fucked up so bad on them, I think I'll be eating my humble pie. But
the line at 3.5 does nothing for you.
Nah, not for this. I think I've got a better play for this game, and I'll. It's part of my multi of Doom, so we'll wait till we get there.
Yeah, I can't find any mail on Reynolds either, and he did do captain's run apparently.
Oh, beautiful. All right, so Ren's in. That's good news for him.
Mate, just lastly, before we dump it completely off the Roosters, Satili Tupanua this year, bro. He came in as a rangy, wiry, good hole running back row. He's like the key piece on that right edge for them. And it's similar to what Nakora does for the Sharks. That you have to key in so much on him that he allows all that shape out the back because it gives Teddy room, it gives Kerry room because you have to key up on him now. He's that fucking big and powerful. So that's just my little shout out.
That's a good point because it's a big reason why I fucked up because I looked at their back row as being a little bit weak. I didn't know how many Radley was going to miss. Yeah. When I made that pick, and I thought Boydie was going to be a big out. Angus Crichton ends up getting injured as well. But, mate, fucking Tupanua is a fucking weapon.
Looks like a nightmare to tackle. He'll be all elbows and knees.
Awful. And it's good for an anytime try scorer too if you're looking for a bit of jam back-to-back weeks. And runs a nice... The best thing about him too, he's not one of those... Islander players that are just straight up and down. He can beat you inside, outside, a bit like Jimmy Tomalolo.
Yeah.
He's got such good late footwork at the line. He's a real impressive player. So I fucked up big time there. I didn't give him enough props going into the season. The next game is Canberra Raiders versus the Warriors. And I'll kick us off here. Like I said, I think Canberra are one of the better teams. And I don't know if I said this in week 1 or week 2. They find a way not to blow teams out. You remember I told you, I think we're talking about the points. So whenever you're looking at games when it comes to the Raiders from a betting standpoint, I thought me and Normie were watching the Sharks game on the weekend, and I thought Canberra looked so much physically dominant than the Cronulla, and they were down in good ball. It felt like for a minute, and they just dropped the ball a couple of times or made pushed a pass, and had to come up with a bad kick. And to be fair, I thought they could have blown the Sharks out and credited the Sharks. They hung in there, but they're just a team that are still finding their way. Last year, I think did we talk about this last week where Josh Hodgson has been renowned for playing.
You did, yeah,
and playing around the ruck and. Now, when he was out last year, George Williams and Jack White and Daly Am come into their own. Now they've got to find a way to get back and mould all that together. And once they get one, I feel like they will.
Unfortunately, I feel like they will this week as well.
Yeah, okay. Because you think they're going to do a number on your Warriors, yeah?
You go in Canberra, obviously.
Yep.
Yeah. first of all, $4.25 for my boys. Like, come on, man. That's the spread's 11.5. I don't know if they'd cover it, but still, disrespect. $4.25 hurts. Obviously, the news that Chanel's going to be out for 12 weeks. We're going to finally see what sort of Sean O'Sullivan's all about. Obviously, Pete, his old man's the recruitment manager there. Got him back home.
Okay.
Uncle
Pete, eh?
Uncle Pete, yeah. We all love Uncle Pete.
They're the best, those ones.
yeah. So we're kind of going for that poor man's Cleary father-son combo over the Warriors. But no disrespect, Sean. So we're looking forward to the mail coming out of camp. Obviously, no one's ever going to say a bad word about him, but everyone likes him there. Gets on with all the boys, and apparently has been running a fucking market training. So I'll be interested to see how he goes. I think they're going to get. I think this could be a bit of a danger game for the boys. Chanel out's a massive one. They're still missing you and Aiken. 4-pack was good last week against Newcastle.
You can slide down a little bit there, Lukey.
I wasn't his biggest fan early on, but I really like what Wade Egan's brought to the side. He's in the leadership group as well, so he's obviously a big part of their plans moving forward. And there's old fake Scope there at lock has just been fucking killing it as well. Unfortunately, I think the boys get a bit of a score put on them this week. I think Canberra, I wouldn't be going the -11, but I think they might cover that. Bit of jam. I really like the way, like you said last week, how straight they're able to play and how sort of the Warriors' defense in the middle was kind of a bit shaky. They defend very well on the edges, with obviously your nephew out there, Pitt, and Adam Pompey as well. But I think Dynamis Louis and or Josh Papali could be crossing for a bit of meat in this one. So if you love yourself a anytime try scoring front rower, I think this would be the game to have a look at. I can see Papali crossing definitely, man.
Yeah, and you know what, mate? Their bench comes on and so physical in that as well. So a guy that's been playing all right in the first couple of weeks is a guy I spotlighted is Benny Murdoch Marcella. Yeah. He's like, once he gets his fitness in, he's going to get even better. Ryan James in particular, to miss so much footy and have the impact that he's having in a few games. He's scoring a try. Man. He's making line breaks. He's going through. He looks really good. I'm happy for him. He went through a tough time. A lot of people that I know at the Titans say he's a fucking legend, the people that I've spoken to. So I'm happy for him after spending so long. The guy that I played SG ball with, CS Oliola, is still going around. The old boy's still going around, and he's killing.
Still jam blokes.
And he looks grouse too with the haircut now. He looks even fucking meaner. So
I tell you, with a nice little inclusion. Sorry to interrupt you, mate.
That's right.
Jack Murchie, who, if you watched the Warriors football last year, when the Warriors obviously all the COVID stuff happened, they got a couple of loan players in. Jack Hetherington was obviously a big inclusion, but Jack Murchie in the back end of the year was fucking incredible for the Warriors. He pushed his way into the starting side. Obviously, Bailey Sirenen coming in's pushed him out again. Yep. He's a Canberra junior. He's a Canberra boy. But I'll be looking for him to have a big one as well. And he's a genuine try scorer. So I know back rowers off the bench don't collect a lot of meat, but against his old
didn't see Scope season in 2010, baby.
Of course.
Top try scorer. Hey, get the card out. Get the card out, baby. 4 tries that season. What's up?
But yeah, Jack Murchie's he's a nice player, and this will be his first game this year for the Wires. So I look forward to seeing how he's going. But yeah, I'll be going Canberra, bro. Yep.
On to the next, and you can kick us off with this one. It is the Broncos against the Bulldogs.
Yeah, fuck. Here's another coin flip of doom, isn't it? Is this in Brisbane?
It's open in Brisbane.
Yeah. Okay. That kind of answers it for me. That's a bit better, Lukey. You can see everything there. Broncos. Yeah. Fucking coin flip. And I'm going to land on the Broncos. I think it's going to be a pretty. I can't imagine it being a high scoring game. But when Brisbane do start clicking, you saw it in that Para game. They can score points, and I just haven't seen any points out of the Bulldogs yet. So I think it could be a bit of a.
You saw zero on the weekend.
I saw zero. They're struggling on attack, man. So I'm still waiting, and I'm still hopeful that Jake Averillo can really develop and take that fucking 6 jumper and really run with it, because he's a nice player, man. Even though you can't pronounce his name. So I'm going to say
Averillo.
I
don't think it was even Averillo. I think it was Virilio. That's mad disrespect.
You're like, Virilio's nice. I was like,
no, but all the other boys are like, he is nice.
I was like, Corey, you play in the league, bro. What are you doing? So I'm gonna go the Broncos. Good to see Xavier Coates back after that disgusting somersault. So I think they get the job done. And again, if I'm chasing anytime try scorer, I've done it every week, and I'll keep doing it until he crosses. I'm going Jordan Ricky, baby. Get over the line, kid. Come on.
Yeah, congrats to Jordan Ricky too, just re-signing on a 3-year deal with the Broncos. Well done. I'm going to go to the Dogs on this one. Out of the 2 games, I think you know what's a weird thing in this game? I think both teams are obviously down on a bit of confidence, but I actually think playing at home is a disadvantage to the Broncos right now. I think with the amount of pressure that they're on at the moment,
You almost just want to get out of there.
they want to get out. They want to get this win so bad. They'll be playing in front of their home crowd. The crowd will know this is a game we've got to win. And if it becomes close at the end, I can see the Bulldogs getting home in a close one in this one because of the pressure of playing at home and being 0-2 and potentially going 0-3 for both clubs.
I don't disagree with you, but where are the points coming from? Like, are you starting to look at Nick Kotrick and Flanagan to sort of spark something? I don't see where the points come from in this side. Like, they've got a very nice forward back. Josh Jackson's nice. Jack Hetherington's nice. Jeremy Marshall can create. But I just don't see points in this side, man.
It's more or less about the Bulldogs, and I'm looking at Broncos D.
Shaky.
Yeah, it was very average, especially I said on I was doing Kempy's companion, he calls it Beers and Footy, and I was talking about how I'm excited to see what that right edge is capable in the Broncos. We've got Anthony Milford, Tessie New, who I really like. Obviously, our boy Jordan Pretty Ricky, and then X on who can score a handful of meaties throughout the year. But defensively, they looked a little bit shaky on the weekend, so it could be a good confidence builder for the left edge. You're talking about Avarillo. If they can get some confidence out of this, it'll be. I'm telling you now, like when you're playing these sorts of games and you're both 0-2, and I've been there before, this will be a game that Bulldogs will be penciling in as well. We're going, fuck, we can get these cunts up there. You know what I mean? It's not an unassailable task. They'll be looking at a few things. I still believe in Trent Barrett's attack. I know he's more of an attacking coach. Maybe they played potentially one of the best teams in the comp in Penrith, and it was a big game for him and whatnot. So
if they drop this one, Simi might be getting the call after all, mate.
Yeah, Simi might get a run, and that'll be fucking a proper giggle because I think he's playing his first game for Canberra on the weekend.
Oh
too,
fuck,
so.
I've got to go, man.
Yeah, we all got to go. We'll go on Saturday if he ends up playing.
Flog, Lukey, flog.
All right, speaking of Lukey, we're on to Para versus the Sharks.
What's the spread there? 7.5.
This is a tricky one for the Eels, and this is where I think. Did you even nod your head there in the back there too, Lukey? Lukey's a Para fan. This is if you've been a Para fan for a while, you know that they can come off the highest of highs, and then get beaten by a team like this in the Sharks, and vice versa. I think the Sharks are capable of knocking off these wins throughout the season because when you look at the Sharks team on paper, they've got a lot of vets. They'll obviously be down about what happened on the weekend. Poor Chatty Townsend goes 0 from 3 with those kicks.
Yeah, they should have won that.
They should have won that game in the end, and that'll be a game where you don't get too low in those games because, like,
sort of like the Dragons round one, like you go down, but you go, fuck, we were in that up to our eyeballs. So I'm with you there.
So it'll be a game that Cronulla think they can go and get whether Para get too high. This will be a good gauge on how serious Parramatta are on the year because this is one of those ones that can be tricky. Like I have a feeling they're going to knock off the lower teams this year. The middle tier teams, this will be where they
danger.
Yeah, this will be the danger games for them. So I'm going Para.
Yeah,
I'm going Para, but I wouldn't be confident betting on them or definitely not taking the start.
Yeah, I wouldn't. Fuck, I'd go Para. The line's 7.5. Fuck, if you're a betting man, Cronulla might be, and you're a Cronulla fan. 7+7.5 is juicy. I'll tell you what's good to see, mate. My boy Isaiah Papali'i forcing his way into the starting side. Holy fuck, man! What a start to the year. Wish you were doing it for us, but it's all good, man.
It's fucking Penny Terapai 2.0. Coming off the back fence every carry. I love
just
to see
a lazy 200 meters off the bench. He's fucking killing it. I was a big fan last week of watching Connor Tracy on that right edge for Cronulla.
Yeah, did good.
Zippy, man. He's very zippy.
He got smoked a couple of times too and kept on coming.
Kept coming. And obviously they throw like I'm fucking that high on Brenton Nakora. I think he's much better he's got that great combo with SJ. When SJ's there, they're a different side on that right. It's gonna be a tough game. Magulius is there as well. I'm going to go Para. I think off the back of beating the Storm, they should take a lot of confidence out of that and get the job done. But I'll be leaving the line alone.
Yeah. All right, mate. Moving on to the Knights, who we've got, and the boss is coming in too. Do you want to talk about your Knights at all? We're rolling in. We're about to talk about the Knights versus West Tigers.
Yeah, a little training run for the boys again. I think they got the Dragons next week as well, next Sunday. So we've got a pretty good draw lining up for the start of the year. I wouldn't be surprised if we go 4-0. Looking at the Tigers, but they look disjointed. I've seen Tommy Talal roll in, which is good. He's a gun. But yeah, I'm excited, for Newcastle. Got to think KP's not there as well.
And Blake Green, who's probably going to play 6 for him.
Yeah, Blake Green will play 100%. So good start to the season. Pumped for the boys and fucking let's go.
Mitchy Barnett, baby.
Mitchy Barnett. Snacky Barnett.
The new Craig Fitzgibbon.
Yeah.
Slot him with the left
Yeah,
foot.
he was happy with that too. I messaged him too. Did you message you back after it too? Yeah, he's a gun. He loves it. He loves all our stuff at YKTR Sports. So good to see him doing well, Mitchie. Yeah, I'm going the Knights. I've gone 0-2 on the Knights. It's a weird little game. Like, I always talk about the Tigers, man. The Tigers fucking scare me because they're capable of anything. But at the moment, especially what they tossed up against the Roosters, I think you were supposed to start this one, but I've already started rolling.
That's all right.
The Knights should get this done.
Yeah, agree. Yeah, they should get it done. Just piggybacking off what I said, Tommy Talau's a nice player, man. It's good to see him in there.
I like Tommy. He's got good energy, eh? Even at a basketball game, he was a fucking good lad. And
Still waiting for Jimmy Roberts to really pop as well. Jimmy the Jet, he's due, but I just think the Tigers I think they'll struggle in this one. And Newcastle, if they can go 3-0 before KP gets back, we're off to Sizzler, baby. We're away. So
that was nice.
9.5 the line.
Haven't been to Sizzler in a minute.
I wouldn't be touching the line. Fuck it. Yeah, plus 9.5, minus 9.5 rather, I think is even jam. I think they could probably get them by sort of that 12 to 18 mark. So, I'm going Newcastle as well, bro.
All right, last game of the round, we have the Cowboys versus the Titans.
Let's get it.
You can start with this, mate, because I think I cut you off on the last one.
Yeah, I'm gonna go the Titans, even though I keep bagging them. I'm not bagging them, but I'm not as high on them this year as everyone else is. But I'm higher on them than I am, on the Cowboys. So obviously the Dragons getting it done against them. Is our boy Tamalolo still out? Yeah,
he's got 3 or 4 weeks.
Well, then their kind of season kind of rides on whether or not he plays and how much he plays. And I even said last week, I don't like the whole restriction of minutes thing. And when he's not there at all, there's not a lot coming through the middle for them. Michael Morgan, he's capable of fucking producing anything. And against, you say younger brother against another Queensland side, who knows? It's a coin flip game. They're at 260. So if you were chasing value, they're not terrible value. They could easily win. But I'm going to go the Titans there. I just think they've got too much strike, and I'm an Alex Brimson fucking fanboy. So Brimson to cross for a bit of meat, and I think the Titans get it done.
Yeah, I thought the way that the Titans particularly played that second half, it was a nervous sort of start for them against the Broncos. But once they got their shit together and they're going to play through teams more than play around them, that's the way they're going to score tries. That's what I anticipated. I thought they come up with a little bit better shape too, rather than just going. Actually, probably Tino still. They just gave Tino the ball, and I said during Beers and Footy that I'd prefer to see try scorer Jared Wallace, he loves his YKTR Sports as well. He got over for a meaty, congrats. But guys like Fadawika and Wallace to lay the line and give Tino the opportunity. He's so fucking dangerous near the line to get over for a couple of meaties. And Dave Fafita, they put him in really good positions this week, and they were able to get a pretty decent win. It was a comfortable win. I know it got a little bit close there at times, but you never, watching that game, you never really thought that the Titans were going to lose it. I think it's another game where they can keep rolling. It's one of those games that they can play through the middle. Their forward pack can do a number on the Cowboys forward pack.
Agreed.
And then, you might see a few little scrappy tries to the outside backs. Another guy, again, who, I love talking about is Corey Thompson. The amount of work that he gets through and some of the plays that he comes up with, him and Brimson are pretty similar players, man.
Jinky, break tackles. Yeah.
Mate, they're fucking a handful coming out of yardage and getting in, having scoots and on kick returns. So
front row's worst nightmare, when they're scooting out a dummy half there. Yeah, I think just piggybacking off what you were saying about Tino and that, I think the Titans should or could have a look at what the Raiders do with Joseph Tarpany, and they bang forward with guys like Louis, Papali, even Whitehead a little bit, and then it's just Tino. Tarpany rather just kind of gets it, and he's got all this space in front of him, and he can just do his thing. And Tino's more than capable to skip across the line, palm, and then jink through like Tarpany does. Yep. You'd even probably argue Tino's maybe he's not a better player than Tarpany. It's the wrong word, but he's got just as much strike in that sort of red zone. So wearing him out coming out of yardage like they did in those first game, like. He was just getting through those ugly carries. Yeah. He's too fucking striky for ugly carries. Yeah. That's when you use your guys.
He's too good looking for ugly carries.
Yeah. Give it to the other boys to march him up the field. And then when you're getting good ball, get Lasani to bang a couple of bodies and then hit him with a bit of space. So I'd be having a look at what the Raiders do with Tarpany. How they use Tarpany is how the Titans should be using Tino. And I think they could they could run a bit of a score up. So who knows, man? Another coin flip game. But I'm with you. I'm on the Titans.
I disagree with the coin flip. This is going to be my best bet of the week. Rolling into the multi of doom. So I've obviously given away my best bet early. Yeah, I'm pretty confident that the Titans will get the job done and buy a fair bit in this one. Not a fair bit. I think
5.5 to spread.
I think the 10 to 20 range is realistic for the Titans if they have a proper crack and conditions up there, and actually I think will suit the fitness and the once you get a roll on up in North Queensland. You remember back in the days that the years that the Cowboys did really well, they had Matt Scott, Jimmy Tamo, and Jimmy Tomalolo.
Yeah.
And they physically beat teams up there and rolled them, and they put on big points in Thurston and that. And, you got Michael Morgan, put the polish on the end. But when you played the Cowboys up there, you knew that you had to deal with their pack first. And I believe Titans now have the better pack in that sense.
Yep.
And they can roll forward, get a good roll on for the Titans, and I really like them. So they're going to be my best bet. The -5.5, I like that. They're going to be my multi at Doom, and they'll be my best bet of the week.
Yep.
The other bet that I really like is they haven't been able to get that right edge spot locked in at the South Sydney Rabbitohs. You've had Jimmy, you've had James. I keep calling everyone Jimmy. James Mansour, it's the source. He started round one. He had a tough day at the office. He apparently I believe he got dropped, and then they bring in Jackson Paulo, who had then had a really tough day against the Bird Gang. And if you know anything about the best clubs in the competition, once they see a weakness, they attack it. The weakness is, I believe, they're going to go after Josh Mansour with the kicking game and in attack. And I therefore think Daniel Tupou is a really good bet at $1.80, $1.90 for any time try scorer.
Cool.
So that's a bet that I really like.
I'm with you on those first two. I like them.
Yep. And the other one is, it's because these teams are just like, I don't think they'll know how to win properly. I know the Dragons got to win on the weekend. Yeah. But another bet that I love in a game like this is under 10.5, either team, Manly and Dragons.
You could almost do that for every game this week.
Mate, I could see the Eagles winning 14-0 or 16-0 with like 10 minutes to go and the Dragons win 26-16 or something like that. You know what I mean? It could be one of those games. Eagles I feel like, because the reason I like this bet, I feel like Manly got the better team all round, like from top to bottom, but Dragons are going to be more confident and the Eagles are going to be a little bit nervous. So
balance out.
I think it might balance out. It's going to be another hot, tough affair. It won't be the best game to watch, but I think it's going to be close. So I like the either under 10.5.
Mate, I'm not changing anything there.
Hey,
I'm jumping on, baby. Let's go. Weekly jam, G.
We've been going, sometimes when you look at games and like, we're talking about coin flips and we can't quite find it.
Go somewhere else.
Get a little bit deeper.
Mate, you've got me there. I'm fucking loading up. I'm on.
Beautiful.
100%.
All right, we'll leave it at that.